Hello, and welcome to our Omita Fire Loss and Recovery Dashboard. My name is Sabra, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the web maps, some of their capabilities, what they are illustrating, and also how they influence the widgets. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about here before actually getting into the web maps is a piece of functionality that I left out of the last video. And so I'm going to use this top right widget stack as my example, but this functionality can be applied to any widget that you are interested in. So as you are hovered over the widget, you will see this icon in the top right. This icon is an expansion icon, and when you click it, it expands that widget to populate the entire extent of the dashboard. This becomes really handy when you're using a mobile phone or something with a smaller screen and you want to get a closer look at the widgets. And then when you are ready, you can go ahead and go to the top right corner again and hit the icon, and then that will take it, collapse it back down and put it in its original place. All right, and with that, I'm going to use that capability on our maps here. So in our dashboard, we have three maps. We have the recovery zones map, which is what you're looking at here, an affordable housing map, and then an economic recovery map. And in case you didn't notice just now, you can navigate to each of these maps using these tabs that are beneath the web map. So we're going to focus on the recovery zones map first. And so the first thing I want to say here for those that are not familiar with our Zone Captain program or our recovery zones yet is that each recovery zone is a specific geolocated boundary or polygon that are organized by development type and neighborhood type. With that said, this is the recovery zones map that you're located, and there are 29 recovery zones within it. And as I zoom in and pan around, you will get more familiar with what each recovery zone looks like. So the first piece of functionality that I want to explain on here is how to zoom in and out. If you're on a machine that has a mouse, you can use the scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in as much as you want and zoom back out. But if you're on a machine such as a mobile phone that does not have a mouse, then you can go to the bottom right and you'll see these plus and minus buttons that are also zoom in and zoom out functionality. Next, I want to show you how to kind of pan around to the areas that you are interested in. And to do this, you're just going to click on any area in the map and you're going to hold. And then you'll see this gloved hand, and that means that you are in the panning capability. And as you get to wherever you want to be looking at, you just let go of your button, and then that is where the map will stay. Next, I want to show the search bar functionality. If you go to the top right and you see this magnifying glass icon, hover over it, it'll be blue, and then you can click on it. And if you actually click into the search bar, it'll prompt you to use your current location, which you can do if you have that type of capability, or you can just directly type in the address that you are interested in or any place that you're interested in. For an example, I'm going to use Rays. And so when you type in Rays, it'll bring you all the Rays that are near. And I am going to go to the Rays in Phoenix. So when I click this, it's going to zoom into that location. It's going to center it and show it as a point. So it's this point in the middle here. It's also going to have this pop-up here that has just a little bit of information, which in this situation is just the name of the grocery store. But essentially what this functionality allows for is for you to easily locate which recovery zone your address is nearest to or within. So in this situation, I can clearly see that the Rays is within recovery zone 27. So when you figure out which recovery zone your location is near or within, you can actually go ahead and click on that recovery zone polygon, and that's going to open up this informational pop-up in the left. And in that pop-up, it's going to tell you the name of the recovery zone, which I apologize for my face bubble being in the way of it. And it's also going to highlight the recovery zone number, the development type of that recovery zone, how many properties were affected in that recovery zone. If there's a zone captain, it will include their name and email, and then it will also include some information about how to become a zone captain for your zone, or how to find more information, and a website link as well. So when you are done with your pop-up, you can hit close. And when you're done with your location point, you can go up to this search bar again and hit this X, and that will take that point off the map there. And then to collapse this, you're going to go ahead and hit that magnifying glass again. So the next capability that I'm going to show is the legend within the map. And in the top right, the middle icon here is going to be that legend icon, and you'll highlight and click it, and then it's going to bring you up the legend for all of the layers that are shown within the map at that point. So we have 3 layers on right now, and you can see the different development types here, as well as what the different colors of these icons mean. And when you're done with that legend, you can push this X or just click this icon again, and it'll collapse that. And for those that are more technologically inclined and want to play with the layers that we have embedded in these web maps, there's this very far right icon, which is the layers icon. And you can kind of click through here and turn on and off layers that we have, and it will show them or hide them as you wish. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this Alameda fire damage layer. And this is showing the survey data from the Jackson County Damage Assessment. And so you just can go ahead and click on that eyeball icon again to collapse that layer back. And then when you're done messing around with the layers, you can just go ahead and hit that icon again. All right, so that's about it for the map's functionality. But to just kind of explain more about what you are seeing here, the different colors of the map are the different development types. And to refer to what colors are which, you can use this legend icon on the right, or if you go back to the main dashboard, it's always here on the top left in this widget. And then also what you're seeing open in this map are these icons here. These icons are the affordable housing projects in the region. And if you go ahead and zoom out, you'll see that they go all the way up to like White City and Rogue River and all the way down to Ashland. And we have 3 different colored icons for different types of housing projects. And again, to refer to what those different colors mean, you can hit this legend button, and you'll see that the gray is permanent, the orange is a temporary housing project, and the brown is a transitional housing project. Now I'm gonna go ahead and navigate over to the affordable housing map, which kind of just goes more into detail about the housing projects. So like the recovery zones map, you can zoom in and zoom out. The main difference between the recovery zones map and the affordable housing map, as well as the economic recovery map, is the coloring of our recovery zones. So the colors are set to be a gradient of light blue to dark blue to dark gray to light gray. And so this gradient is correlated with the number of fire affected properties within each zone. So those that are light blue had the least amount of fire affected properties within them. And then those that are light gray have the most amount of fire affected properties within them. Now, this does not take into account the size of the properties. It is only the number of properties within those zones. One thing that this map has that kind of goes more into detail about the housing projects is if you navigate over to our layers and then you turn on active or inactive housing projects, it'll tell you which housing projects are already in place and active, which is going to be our green here. And then it'll also tell you the housing projects that are not active yet, that are either pre-application or still undergoing construction. So we're going to go ahead and turn those back off. But otherwise, it has the permanent, transitional, and temporary coloration on those icons, just like the recovery zones map had. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on over to the economic recovery map. Again, this is the same coloration as the affordable housing map. The difference here is the economic recovery map highlights the businesses that were affected. An important thing to mention here is this is not an exhaustive count of all the fire impacted businesses within the fire scar, but this is representative of a survey that was done of businesses and businesses that answered phone calls or gave calls back or answered emails, etc., etc. So with that being said, what is being shown here is 4 different colored icons representing different businesses that were impacted. And to see what each color represents, again, you're going to go up to this legend icon, and it's going to show you that the red means that this business was destroyed and it is currently closed. The orange means that the business was destroyed and it plans to rebuild, or it has already found another temporary location. The yellow means that it is damaged and plans to open. And then the green means damaged and is actually currently open. And then also here you can see the legend for the gradient as well. Now, before I end this video, I want to mention that the data and information that is within the recovery zones map communicates and influences some of our widgets that we have here. So, for example, as you make a recovery zone selection, these widgets will change based on the recovery zone that you selected. This works because the data is geolocated within the map and uses the map's boundaries of the recovery zones to focus on specific data points and exclude any data points that are outside of those boundaries. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to make those selections and make these widgets talk about the recovery zones that you are interested in. See you next time.